Hey everyone, welcome. It's been an interesting week. I attended SVP Fast Pitch on Monday. Tuesday was an interesting day, but we're here. Still going live, okay? Because I think I got 4 days left this week. I'm gonna make it happen. I wasn't able to do my 5 days, but we're gonna make it do what it do. So, topic in the nonprofit sector is addicted to scarcity. Let me turn off my AC because I'm not sure how the sound is with the AC on, but we're doing it without the AC. So, and I'm trying to type on the computer too, because yeah, that's what we're talking about. How the nonprofit sector is addicted to scarcity, and what I mean by that. I was having a conversation last night because I finished a program called the City Management Academy, and there was a mixer last night with alumni from the CMA program. Now, I had this conversation with one of my fellow alumni, and basically, I don't know why, but I'm not signing up for that same mindset of how the nonprofit industry doesn't have any money right now. Yeah, people left and right buying Rivians. Have you looked at the price of a Rivian? But it's like, you know how people say the population's increasing? There's so many Rivians on the street now. So to me, it's the nonprofit sector and people that work in nonprofit that are addicted to scarcity. When they think nonprofit, they think scarce. They think lack. And that's because the term nonprofit, for some reason, takes people to a place where they don't expect funds to be available. I had to tell this person last night that I went to an event Monday. They raised $200,000 that night. So the money is there. But for some reason, the nonprofit sector is addicted to scarcity, and they don't see things in a different lens where the way they fundraise or the way they generate revenue needs to be different. And that's all that needs to happen, because if people were minding their business and proceeding the way it was supposed to happen, things would work out. But if you are so stuck on the lack of or lack thereof, it's going to be difficult for you to accomplish what you need to accomplish. With nonprofits, you need to generate revenue, so you need to make sure that you have some type of operational structure on the back end to ensure that you're able to generate that revenue. Because then if you're telling me you need XYZ, do you know how much you need to make XYZ happen? Do you even have that written down somewhere? If not, that's your first problem, because you're saying you need something and you're in lack, but you didn't plan to get that. Because sometimes we tell ourselves we need something, but we plan for it. In the same token, my son tells me he needs XYZ, I'm going to look in my budget to see how I can make that happen and make it happen. I don't just sit down and say, I don't have it. And that's the issue we are seeing in the nonprofit industry right now. You can come for me all you want, but it don't matter, because I'm going to mind my business. And I choose to not approach life with a lens of scarcity, because I understand there's abundance out there and I'm going for it. And it's the same thing with nonprofits. There is not a lack if you are looking in the right places. The traditional ways that nonprofits have been generating revenue are not working for them anymore. So I want you to understand that. It's not that the money is not there anymore. It's the fact that how you've been generating the revenue, it's not working for you anymore. Hey, Gerda. So it's not working for you. If you're catching live, hashtag live. If you're catching the replay, hashtag replay. The more you engage, the more Facebook does this thing, okay? So you need to look at it as the way you were generating revenue in the past may not be working anymore. So you need to find other ways to start generating revenue. So think about what you need, how much you need, and make a plan for it. There's a reason when I work with clients to set up their dashboard and calendars. A fundraising calendar is deciding what you have or what you need and how you can generate what you are missing, because it's not going to magically appear. You can't just wait for grants to fill the gaps that exist in terms of money, in terms of funding. You need to start thinking about ways to generate this revenue to help you bridge that gap, to close that gap if necessary. So again, I think the nonprofit sector is addicted to scarcity. For them, it's like, if scarcity doesn't exist, then you're not a nonprofit. No. There's so many nonprofits out there that are not having a hard time, and that's because they've been operating in a way that's efficient. They've been operating there's no other way to say it. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're not looking at it in terms of, okay, we don't have it, this administration closed this off, oh, boo-hoo, we're going to have to close doors. No, okay. This is what's happening right now. This is the reality. This is what we can do. This is what we cannot do. What can we focus on, and what actions, what do we need to remove or add to make sure we're continuing providing a quality of service that we used to provide. If you're going to have to cut your programs, let's say it's either you cut staff or you cut the programs, now you have to start considering of how you can keep the quality of your programs with less staff, because sometimes it's going to have to be hard decisions, but you have to think about it in the way that operation-wise, does it make sense? Does it make sense for you to have more staff, or does it make sense to cut the programs? If you can cut the programs and keep the service, how can you adjust this program to ensure that you're still delivering quality of service, but you're putting less work in and doing less? Okay, so oftentimes it's about the strategic way to approach it, but also making sure operationally you can deliver on what you need to. So we can't be out here obsessed with the struggle, obsessed with scarcity, because it doesn't help. So we have to think about how to ensure that we are putting our best foot forward. Let me see, that was Brzezinski. Putting our best foot forward and actually doing what we need to do. Because y'all, $200,000 in one night. That event in itself, and shout out to all the nonprofits that participated. I know Emily, Tisha, these individuals from these different organizations. There were so many. There was John, Natalia, y'all, $200,000. Ooh. There's lint going around. But you have to think about that. If they're able to raise $200,000 in one night with less than 300 people in attendance, you have to think that it's not the money that's not out there. It's how you're generating it and how you are looking at the big picture, or if you're looking at the big picture at all. Because I want you to realize the money is out there. It's not scarce. It's still there. It's just not being spent in the way that it used to be spent. Now you're not going to get it from the same sources, where the federal government is not going to give you the grants that you're looking for. And there's been kind of cuts around certain terms. But how can you creatively generate that revenue? What relationships do you need to build? Because it's going to come down to who you're building relationships with, how you're generating revenue, and the ways you're generating the revenue. Because you have to start thinking about ways to generate income in your nonprofit where it is sustainable. Because if you're a nonprofit, if you have the capacity and if you have the skill set within your organization to provide certain services at a cost, maybe that's a model you need to adopt. But you have to think like creatively and out of the box, because the things that you were doing before may not work long term, and you need to continue looking for ways to become sustainable. Hi Tiffany, how are you doing? To become sustainable, because that's what's needed right now. It's that level of creativity, because you are working in a sector where people have a scarcity mindset and think, boo hoo, it's over, we're not gonna get the money. Y'all, if they can raise $200,000 in one night with less than 300 people, the money's out there. If you can look around and see more than 5 Rivians in one day, the money's out there. Because for me, that's my indicator. You know what? Things are okay. If I see people walking around with like some expensive purses, and I'm like, you know, things are okay. People are just not flashy anymore. So I want you to realize that it might not be visible to you, but the income is still flowing. Okay? And some circles, the money is still flowing. You just need to realize that you need to get creative in how you're generating revenue and the relationships you're building. Because the relationships you have right now, maybe they're not the ones you need to leverage. Maybe you need to go in the rooms with people with bigger pockets. Okay, so some people start nonprofits because of need and their lived experience. But I'm going to ask them to elevate and go in places where you've never been in before, and have the audacity to ask for more and to do more. Because if you do not, you're going to be left behind. And we're not doing that. Go in the rooms that you haven't been in. If you think you don't fit in, guess what? So what? Because it's none of your business. Remember, my motto for 2024 was mind your business. And this year, it's by any means necessary. We showing up, whether you like it or not. So show up in these rooms and make your presence felt. Build the relationships and get your money for that nonprofit, because the work that you're doing is too important for you to sit down and just accept the status quo. Because what's happening right now, what's happening this year, should not be a reason that I see so many people give up on their vision. So many nonprofits give up on their vision. Yes, you've had to lay off staff. Yes, you had to make cuts. So what? Go back to the drawing board, plan, and keep it moving. Because like I said, you need the audacity. Yes, Tiffany, audacity. By any means necessary, you need to show up and generate that revenue and keep your programs moving. If you need to go back to the drawing board and look at these programs to see how you can make things operationally sound so you can keep generating the revenue, that's what you need to do. Yes, whether you like it or not, you need to be in the room. So start looking at what rooms. Start looking if there's a local philanthropy group, right? If there's anything happening in the area. Because then the event I went to on Monday where they raised $200,000 in one night, the group is called Sacramento Venture Philanthropy, SVP, right? Partners of this particular group, I think they pay, well, based on the last time I checked, the partners pay $4,000 per year to be a partner of that group. And they pool their money together, they raise money, they have relationships for SVP, right? And they make their dough. They have events. They make grants. They have about 2 events per year where they award $10,000. They build relationships where people donate to them. So find philanthropy groups, because these groups have people that want to invest their monies in certain initiatives. They really do want to invest their money in certain initiatives. I'm telling you, the money is out there. You need to stop thinking small. Because as soon as you start thinking that it's not out there, that's going to be your reality. And that's going to be the reality of your nonprofit. If you're saying, I'm not going to get this grant, I'm not ready. Okay, why are you not going to get this grant? I want you to Like, book a consultation with a consultant. You can book one with me, like, shameless plug, book a consultation with me so we can talk about why you're not grant ready and what activities you can do to gather data to make you grant ready and to make you stand out. Because the other thing with nonprofits, the outreach they're doing, they're staying small. They're staying small and they're not making their presence felt when they go to these events. Not walking around, introducing themselves to the council members and building relationships. Like, listen, you need to invite them people for coffee, for lunch, and build relationships. Don't ask for anything, but build relationships. So, okay, Tesla's going to start charging me if I stay on the charger too long. So, I'm going to say this. Build the right relationships and get your mind out of this scarce, like this small box that it's been put in, because you need to start going. If you don't get out of there and change that mindset, you're going to stay in that box. You're going to stay in that box, and your nonprofit is always going to be bootstrapping. And that's not what you want. Now, I love y'all. I want to stay, but these people are going to charge me 50 cents per minute if I stay longer. I don't mind paying them 50 cents per minute, but it's not today. They ain't gonna get that money from me. So ask any questions that you have. And also, one way to work with me, if you already have everything up and running and you need someone to support you and help you implement and just coach you and guide you to just do things fast, you can book a Voxer on-demand strategy sprint. It's 2 weeks. We have walkie-talkie access. We just go back and forth, and you have access to me all day until I go to sleep. And we just talk, get work done 2 weeks straight. And if you have documents to work on, we can do it on there, because we can exchange PDFs, Google Docs, and stuff like that on the walkie-talkie. It's like a text message, right? But you can exchange all these documents and we can talk. So the link, I'm going to put it in the comments as soon as I unplug my car, because they're not going to know I'm still parked. I need to unplug it. So definitely book a 2-week Voxer strategy sprint and we can work together. But with that said, I'm going to go. I appreciate everybody here. And if you have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments. Tiffany, if anything comes up for you, definitely let me know. And yes, elevate, whether or not be there in those rooms. And I'm out, y'all. Bye.